guys, Dylan here with another game video, welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, where today we're going to be continuing with the final side story. We finished the main game, and today we're going to finish that. There's really not much that's left. I don't know what's going to happen afterward. There's still secrets quite clearly in the game. So there'll probably be one more episode just to go over all that stuff, get through what I can. And yeah, DDLC is almost over. Man, it's been a fun ride, but as usual, we get into this. Self-love. Last time I was left on a cliffhanger, so I'm kind of just excited. I don't know what to say. So this seems like it's probably going to continue off the last story, so I'm not sure where this is going to go. We'll see. It's only been one day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to... Apparently, speaking is outside of my reach today. It's just not a thing I can do. Do I need to train my reading skills before I record these? Is that the solution? So I don't script words at the beginning? Because I feel like that's very commonplace with my videos. I just screw up words for no reason. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she would have to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the scheduled spot she could find during her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a school day. That didn't work out, now did it? Eep! What are you doing here? Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. Well, what are you doing here? I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, shuffles over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seems to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea. Instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant, really. I mean, it's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever. Like, I can see how it suits you, so... not because I think you're creepy or something. I didn't mean that either. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words to comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap off her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. And the two of them just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear as to what it may be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club? Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I can be really bad about this stuff. I just can't for some reason, and I don't know why. But I want to. Eventually. There's no rush. I promise. Thanks. So weird how the side stories just don't involve the main character, and yet I can't really tell the difference. It's still the same old type of storylines, so it works still, even though we're not looking through the guise of a main character, I guess. It's the next day. Natsuki appears around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't any people around here. Oh? I thought you didn't like how quiet it was. Well, I don't, but there's no people here. Let's see. Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. I wonder if this music I'm listening to has anything to do with that. After yesterday's lunch and club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it. But it's okay that I'm here? Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, they all just assumed I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly. But I don't want it to come up again now after I waited so long for this new volume to come out. Literally months at this point. You don't have other friends who are into manga? Not unless online friends count. And Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it. She just likes it. You know what I mean? Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just look like books. So you don't have to feel like everyone is constantly judging you by what you're reading. That would be so awful. Especially since I already hate attention so much. Well, it's a good thing I have thick skin, I guess. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some online friends if you haven't already. If you're like me and have no one to share your hobbies with. Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like that me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face. Oh, whatever. We're all just stupid kids back then anyway. Some of the fanfics I wrote. Thank God I used Bisondium? How do you say? What is that word? But I liked it at the time, and I got fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So, I don't think I would change anything. I wonder if a few years from now, we'll think the same thing about our current selves. Probably. Does it make you uncomfortable? Oh, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me. Especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcibly slaps her own cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I did not mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react. But then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns deep red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide a smile, as though it was a really funny joke. Oh? That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you enjoy your reading. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. Huh. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. But the whole time, Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having so abruptly forced the end of the conversation. Okay then. You're back. Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly noticed a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like for me? But you didn't even know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up? Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. What I meant to say is thank you. And that it's a really nice gesture. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I do. It's the other things that I didn't mean. I swear, please believe me. Yuri pauses, then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. Then sits down next to Yuri and takes a drink. Knowing Yuri, she's probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time. Please, don't feel obligated. I want to. I want to do nice things too. Okay, thank you. You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. I'll do it too then. Natsuki sighs. Nothing. Just reminds me of how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately. Is that why you've been coming here? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. There's just other things I'd rather be doing at lunch lately. And I like being around them when we're all having fun, but I also can't just take anything seriously. So when I'm, I don't know, feeling serious, then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse ever since I joined the literature club. How come? I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good at putting up with it because I would just be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm gonna demand for everyone around me to change. Or not gonna. Yeah, I know. Monica and Sayori don't really agree with that kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. It would have been just making myself an embarrassment. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it. It's okay. I like listening. What? Listening to other people's problems? Yes. That's weird. Sorry. I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird? No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so... I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going? If you'd like. Okay then. Well, I don't know what to talk about now, though. What are some things you like to talk about your friends? A lot of things! I mean, they're really fun to hang out with, like after school and on the weekends. And they really like my baking. It's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories and inside jokes. Oh, I'm bad at a lot of those things. So, all those things are important to you? Well, kind of, but they're not the things we need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too. Well, Sayori seems to really like your baking. Yeah, but that's Sayori. And she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot. That does not make her anything like my other friends. Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings. Excuse me? How about you don't talk about the way my friends that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up. No, wait. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine. As long as you understand that you can't just judge people like that. I'm sorry. Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that and, measure who's better than who. Everyone's different. I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you. A moment of silence stretches between them. They don't want to hurt me. We just tease each other about stupid things. It's fun. I don't like that. Well, that's why I'm friends with them and you're not. You like it? Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monica can. She's good at those things. Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monica and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you gotta do is look at them wrong and they're like, "Aw, what's wrong? Is everything okay?" I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands you is you. So you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think. Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything. I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone like you who doesn't talk a lot would make good listener. Thank you. You're also nice. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. So weird, but I've always thought of myself as someone who can't just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? I don't have to answer that, I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki noticed her fidgeting with the pages of her book. How come you like reading so much? Oh, well, a lot of reasons. But I just get sucked in so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated. Especially when it comes to following social conversations and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. It feels like I always want to be around the characters. I feel such a strong, emotional connection with them like I've never felt with real people. So in that way, I can sometimes feel more real than real life. Really? Is it that hard for you to be around people? Like, all the time? Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversations and saying jokes and all that, I don't know what to do, and I just disengage. Oh. That doesn't get lonely? I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course. Do you ever just wish you could be friends with the characters in your books? All the time. Sometimes so badly it makes my heart ache. Yeah, me too. Really? A lot. Jeez. Like, more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence. One full of understanding. Is that the end of part 1? Not a lot to it, but at the same time, very heavy. But we have one more. Part 2. Onward. Hey. Oh, hello. I almost forgot that you... Oh, I almost thought you weren't coming today. Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri at the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she doesn't feel like seeing them. Today she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung up with them for a while. Is that so? Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while. Which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I'd share them with two. As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of her container. We made cupcakes. You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown with dark green frosting, immaculately shaped to a floral pattern and topped with some glittery powder. How pretty. I just ate, so I may not be able to finish it. Are they for the club? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it. I just made them. Ah, I thought because Veronica's favorite color is green, right? Oh, like me. Well, yeah, but it's not really. Yuri takes a small bite. This is green tea flavored. I love green tea. Oh, do you? It's just a random idea I wanted to try, so... Don't laugh at me. I'm not. I just felt happy. Oh, sorry. Usually when... Never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something that I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them, from past experience. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is full to too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look. How did you get into baking? Oh, well, I don't know. It just kind of always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got, like, really super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day. But it's something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like, baking is like art, but when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too. I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would be eaten afterwards. Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it. I think I prefer to be on the receiving end. That's my favorite part about it. It's something I can do to make a lot of people happy, like, unconditionally. Everyone is always so thankful, and the moment you get to like the bringer of joy. I don't know, it makes me feel valued? Yeah, I guess that. So if you were able to make up with your friends today, there wasn't really anything to make up about. We weren't fighting or anything. You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood. It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool, and that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse. So, they're not going to stop? I mean, it only happens sometimes anyway. It's just the way they are. I'm not going to be the one who has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now if I don't feel like hanging out with them. Oh, I see. The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad the situation is resolved, and that you don't have to avoid them anymore. Yeah, me too. I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on. Yeah. I know that the cupcakes are basically nothing compared to the stuff that you've done for me, but it's the best I can do. So you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box. Then she shakes her head and slides them back. You should save them for your other friends. But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests. I know. And I like them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way that's going to happen, then I'm not going to take it from you. No, they were for making you happy. You make me happy. You're worth more cupcakes to some people than cupcakes to some people. That's why they want to spend time with you and be your friend. Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms. Natsuki! I'm such a bad person! Yuri stammers, feeling panicked. I didn't mean to say something bad. Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't. Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes. And it feels so wrong for you to say so nice things to me. It's like I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of even a single thing about myself that somebody would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I thought it was my chance to be a good person, like to be nice and do the things you wrote about in the letter. I knew that if I tried in the club, Sarah and Monica would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it. You know, I think all of those negative things too, about myself. I've never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and later I feel like I said all the wrong things. I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So I understand some of that through my own experience. And that's why I wrote the letter to express my feelings. It pained me to see someone else that I saw in myself. Natsuki sniffles. Yuri rustles through her bag and pulls out some tissues, then hands them off to Natsuki. Monica told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself, that makes you a good person, so don't worry too much. Also, there are also things that people would like, so... Like what? Like how you're fun to be around. And you're not shy, and you know how to make people laugh. And you're very passionate about things. And you know how to take the lead. And you also care about other people. And just a lot of things. Oh. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed. Well, you're the one who asked. And don't you think that I feel embarrassed? Natsuki tries to hide a smile, then sighs as she fades again. Every time I come here, I think it's the last time, but then I keep coming back for some reason. Is that bad? It's just really confusing. I mean, my friends from way back, so dishing them all the time feels like, I don't know. Feels like what? Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared they'll get mad at me. I don't really know what to do. She pauses, Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles while she thinks to herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if friends were happy for you instead of mad at you? Happy for what? Happy that your new club is making you happy. Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says that with little confidence in her voice. I always told myself I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who just put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what's making me feel so confused. Because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. No matter what, I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt. It must be really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong for just being the person you are. It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. And so you press her palms into her forehead and shakes her head again. I know it's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something so scary. To do what? You know, to end it. With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think we were so actively considering that as an option. I wasn't, until recently. It was just one of those things where, like, it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much has gone into it, so much it feels like just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me feel sick to think about. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary. It's terrifying. What are you so scared of? I don't know, a lot of things. Like being alone. Not having anyone to talk to or hang out with. Not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. And I'm scared that they'll hurt me for going against them. Physically? Not physically, but Yuri clenches her fists. Natsuki, what? If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I will unleash hell upon them! Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me! Sorry, I like that. That's all. Oh. Well, I meant it. I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. I needed it. As the conversation lapses, Natsuki again slides the box of cupcakes over to Yuri. Just take them, okay? I don't want other people to have them anymore. Are you sure? Natsuki nods. I'm sure. I will then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but feeling the warmth spreads through her. As she holds this feeling, knowing it will give her courage. Huh. Back to the stairwell. Ah, you're here first today. Mm-hmm. And you brought reading material. Mm-hmm. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga, while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book. Sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Like, it's such a big part of your life, and then one day there's just nothing left. Makes you feel so empty. Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series. That sucks. But there's also something satisfying about letting the story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever. Maybe. But there are some things that I wish could. On the other hand, have you ever read something that's overstayed its welcome? Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So it sucks that something good has to end, but it also sucks that they just keep inviting more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way. Well, that's the nature of things. They come to an end. The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go outside during the weekends, right? Excuse me? Like with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever. I'm not a total shut-in, you know. Oh, my bad for making assumptions. Well, I'm sure I go out a lot less often than other people, like you and the others in the club. I don't really meet with friends and arbitrarily spend time with that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group. Board game group? It doesn't matter, it's just nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway? I was just curious. I just realized I couldn't picture it, so I was curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that. Sorry. Natsuki pulls her knees to her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this. Did I do something? Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier, telling them. And then I just blocked them because I was so afraid of their responses. And now it feels like I'm dying inside. Oh, that's... I'm sorry. Totally unsure what to do, Yuri can barely find the words to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's usually hard breathing fills the air. Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper. Help me. I feel sick, and I want to hit my head against things. Please help. I can't take this. You may be having a panic attack. With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. I have experience with this, so I'll get you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods through a rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki and sits on the step behind her, then puts her arms on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods, her shaking becoming much more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good place, where nothing can hurt you. Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her heart racing through the base of her neck. We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Yuri takes a deep, slow breath. Beneath her hands, she can feel Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Natsuki's breath shakes on the way out. That's good. Let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of a weight onto Yuri's palms. Let's just focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breaths going in and out. The weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space. This is a lot. Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst of it is past, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off of her knees, and her breathing is mostly steadied. Then she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is. You don't have to apologize. This must be enormously stressful for you. Is that going to keep happening? It may or may not. We can take measures to prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her own book from the dusty floor, which she had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover. I don't think I could have gotten through that alone. You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own Oh. Why did I find that so confusing? From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's so rare for her to openly share her thoughts, but something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job hiding it that it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. Because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can accept yourself for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tremendous journey of learning to love yourself. Aw, that's cute. Do you really mean that? You're probably going to regret saying that if you do. How so? Because I'm probably going to have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So if you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around to a lot of places, let's see. Well, you already said it, so you can't take it back now. Ah. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then. Again, these CGs just get cuter and cuter. I know a good ice cream place. Oh? That means you'll finally figure out my favorite ice cream flavor. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? Yeah, I remember this. That was mentioned in the first side story. That was ages ago. Or not the first one. The first one where Natsuki shows up. I'll put it that way. Oh, you don't remember? First day you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor. But you said for me you had no idea. Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I said it was probably green tea. Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together. Chocolate and raspberry? Oh, fancy. How is that fancy? Oh, I don't know. I just feel like I should have guessed something like that. Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Hey, strawberry's my favorite. What a coincidence. I think it helps something to look forward to. I still feel sick. I still have a sick feeling in my stomach. But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I can be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that will make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could. Kind of think of it, you never wrote about or talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like that's the past at this point. I don't even want to talk about it. Except that I think it helped me out to figure out my needs a little bit better. The way I'd like to be treated. And the kind of friends that I want to have. That's why I started coming here in the first place, even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me initially. Oh, well, not exactly. What do you mean? Nothing. I may have tracked you down first. With the help of Sayori. That's what you said. I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to whatever. You know what I'm saying. Well, I guess I'm happy you worked up the courage. Even if it was in your own way. I can tell you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave, and I think it will make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it. Anyone? You mean, like you? Yes, like me. You know, I could get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much. Fine. Just a little then. That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now. But I really do think good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings. Thanks. Feels nice to be reassured. Such cute moments. The two girls continue their conversation through the remainder of lunch. A new feeling hangs in the air, a feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another Literature Club meeting where the 4 other club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all with their special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will grow and find new happiness together. And the end of each chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself, since she's about to finish her long-running series, it would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore. together. Ah. New pictures, of course, we have the CG, but is there anything else? Anything for having finished all the side stories? Anything? Or just the CG? That is one of the most anticlimactic ends of all the ends we've had. That's interesting. Now this video's run a bit shorter, so I'm going to tag something on the end here. Just because there's one thing in the normal DDLC I never did. And that was deciding to go to Yuri's place for the festival preparations. So yeah, we're going to do that quickly. And that'll be the end of this video. But if you don't want to see that, then I suppose you can click off. But I'd really appreciate it if you watch this segment, because it just helps the channel if you watch more of the video. Plus, I think it'd just be interesting. Yeah, there's a reset button, as it turned out. So yeah, you can just reset Doki Doki Literature Club. It doesn't reset everything, but it certainly is a reset. So it'll basically just... it's the method of wiping your save and starting over. The story doesn't change at all, but it allows you to unbreak the game. So yeah, we're just gonna let that go. I'm seeing if there's anything here, but it doesn't seem like... I don't see any numbers, at least. I might have a look at posts, but I have no idea. But yeah, it's gonna put us through this warning again. It doesn't really matter. You've been through it. We know, game. Team Salvado, Serenity Forge. Oh boy. So I'm going to skip through, get over to the Yuri segment, and yeah, we'll go from there. So, that in mind, guys, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, here we are at the scene. Basically the beginning of it. We just saw Yuri after coming back from Sayori's place. For context. But yeah, otherwise we're just going to get started. Ah, thank goodness. You're a little early. Sorry I wasn't home yet. Were you waiting a long time? No, I just got here. But I started to get really nervous when no one answered the doorbell. You could have just texted me. If I had known, I would have reassured you and hurried on my way home. I suppose that's true. I didn't think of that for some reason. It should be common sense to do that, but I decided to ignore it. Anyway, let's go inside. I see you brought a lot of stuff with you. That's right. And did you manage to find everything I asked you to buy as well? Yeah, pretty much. At least I hope I got everything right. I'm sure I'll be fine. I take Yuri to my room. First thing she does is glance around curiously, which makes me feel anxious. It's so clean. Well, I cleaned it before you came over, so... that's very considerate of you to do. Ah, no. I'll be really embarrassed if my room was a mess while you were here. Well, I do enjoy cleaning. I would have glad you helped you clean. Ah. Well, that would have been more embarrassing. Wait, don't look in there. I snatched Yuri's wrist, which was in the process of opening a desk drawer of mine. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking for some reason. I was just spacing out. It's fine, it's fine. I let go of Yuri's wrist. She puts both of her hands firmly in her lap as if she's trying to keep track of them. So, should we get started? Ah, yes. I do have a few things planned out that you can help with. Decorations and other atmospheric enhancements. Atmospheric enhancements? You know, mood lighting, aromatherapy candles. Oh, wow. I didn't think you planned on taking you that far. Of course, I want to help our guests to a faraway place. Although many will just stop by out of curiosity, for the cupcakes, I guess. I'm determined to provide an experience that will leave them wanting more. That's great. It's easy to forget that you're a pretty intense person. Intense? Well, I guess that's the best way I can put it. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all. It's just something I like about you, actually. Is that so? That makes me feel relieved. And kind of happy. Yeah, no need to be so anxious. You can relax a little. Relax. I brought some things for relaxation. I was going to use them during the poetry event. Oh yeah? Like what? Let's see. He rummages through her bag. She pulls out a few candles and a wooden cylinder-shaped object. I did some shopping on the way here, so I just happen to have these in my bag. I plan to cover the windows in black paper and use the candles to light the room. I think that would be amazing, don't you? Yeah, that would be really neat. Why the wooden thing, though? Oh, this? It's a diffuser for essential oils. Are you familiar with aromatherapy? Not familiar at all. Ah, is that so? It's one of my favorite contributors to a positive atmosphere. Depending on the oils or herbs you use, you can change the mood of the air itself. You can feel it permeate through your body. Relaxation, positive energy, romance, reflection. It's almost like magic. Green takes the cylinder and pushes the switch on the bottom. In just a moment, a thin red vapor begins to spout through the small hole in the top. Wow, that smells wonderful. What kind of mood is that one for? It's jasmine essential oil. It smells a little sweet and flowery, right? Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I chose jasmine for the event because it provides more than relaxation. Jasmine enhances your emotions and makes you feel them flow through your body. You feel warmer and your heart pounds more heavily. Don't you think that would be perfect for sharing your poems? It does sound suitable. You seem to know a lot about this, so I'll trust your opinion with anything. Yuri smiles gently, clearly enjoying herself. She then reaches into her bag and pulls out several spools of ribbon. What are these for? Well, did you purchase the origami paper that I asked you to get? Yeah, I have that over here. We won't be using the paper for folding origami. What I'd like to do is write a different word on each paper. We'll need about 100 of them. Oh yeah? What will these be used for? I'm going to cut pieces of ribbon and hang them on the doorway of the classroom. That way we can fasten the paper to the ribbons and create a doorway curtain. Wouldn't that be beautiful? It would catch the eye of those passing by the room, and may attract some to peek inside. That's really creative. I had no idea you'd be so good at this, Yuri. Is that so? Well, I suppose I do get a little intense, as you put it. Yuri giggles with red cheeks. Is this me, or is she more relaxed when it's just the two of us? Or maybe it's the excitement she feels from sharing something that she enjoys. Here's a marker we've emerald name. I just wrote it down again, too. You can write any characters you want. I'll help you once I finish cutting the ribbons. Ah, alright. Sitting on the floor together, the two of us get to work. I carefully draw a different character on each paper, doing my best to manage my bad handwriting. Yuri unravels a long strand of red ribbon to the desired length. Then she reaches in her bag once more and pulls out a pocket knife. Eh? The knife is strangely beautiful. The silver handle has an intricate pattern of waves etched into it. The blade itself is tinted blue. It's no ordinary pocket knife. It looks really fancy. Ah, well... Embarrassed, Yuri looks away. What is it? You're gonna think it's weird. Yuri, whatever it is, I have no reason to judge. Each their own, you know? You promise you won't be weirded out? Yeah, I promise. Alright. The thing is, I'm kind of into knives. They're just so pretty. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. The combination of craftsmanship and the feeling of danger, maybe. What am I saying? Please don't think I'm weird for this. You're laughing at me. No, I'm not laughing at you. It's just funny how you get so nervous about sharing. It's an interesting thing to be into, I guess. I think it kind of suits you. Suits me? Yeah, it's kind of intense. Besides, it's a really cool looking knife. I can't deny that. It is, isn't it? Rhea relaxes her expression once again. Would you like to hold it? Sure, I'll check it out. Yuri carefully hands me the knife with the handle facing me. I take it and turn it around in my hands. It feels heavy and extremely solid. Where do you even get a knife like this? Curious of its sharpness, I feel the point of the knife with my index finger. Ow! We've emerald! How did you do that? I didn't expect it to be that sharp. I barely touched it at all. It's my fault. I should have warned you. This knife is extremely sharp. It can cut through skin like it's paper. Oh no. A small drop of blood trickles down the side of my finger. Yuri takes my hand and gives the wound a closer look. Ah, She stares at it and noticeably fidgets. If you're squeamish, so go wash it off now. Ah! Without warning, Yuri puts my finger in her mouth and licks them. What the heck? I feel her tongue curl around my finger. Startled, I instinctively pull my hand back. Oh, please forgive me. I wasn't thinking. Yuri lowers her head, her face burning up. Yuri, it is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. How could I do something like that? I'm sorry. Sure, it was a little weird and it took me by surprise. But I guess she was just trying to help, right? Yuri, I think you're overreacting a little. Ooh. She doesn't lift her head. What if she doesn't recover from this for the rest of the afternoon? Alright, you know what? This might be a stupid thing to do, but I do it anyway. I take Yuri's hand and lick her index finger over. What is this exchange? We've emerald! Did you really just do that? Now we're even. Yuri looks at me like I did something wrong. I knew that was a bad idea. If it were not for the sweet aroma of the jasmine oil, the air would be extremely heavy right now. You're so weird, Weeb Emerald. Yuri giggles shyly. Yeah? Yuri calling me weird? I have no response to that. Where do you keep your bandages? I don't think I need one, actually. It was just a tiny cut. Look, it already stopped bleeding. I see. Well, that's relieving. The tension is quickly lifted. We resume our respective activities. I watch Yuri's knife cut through the ribbon like it's nothing but air. Meanwhile, I continue to make progress on the paper. After we finish attaching the paper to the ribbons, we lay them all out side by side. It's better than we expected, and will make an effective door curtain. Looks great. Good thinking coming up with this, Yuri. Thanks. It's just something I saw online, really. Are you ready to move on to the next task? Yeah, let's do it. What did you have in mind? I'd like to create a banner. That's why I asked you to buy the paint tablets. That's right. One of the items Yuri asked me to buy was a kit of watercolor paint tablets. We need about 6 cups of water to put each of the tablets in. Do you mind fetching those for us? Of course not. 6 cups of water. I'll be right back in a minute. Thank you very much. Oh, and just a little bit of water is okay. If you fill the cups too much, it'll be too diluted. That's true, it is easier to add more water than it would be to add more paint. Taking Yuri's advice, I decided to grab a small plastic bathroom cups rather than full-size glasses. I put each of them onto a plate and to catch any paint that drips and bring it back to my room. Yuri? Yes? I come in to see Yuri quickly unrolling her sleeve, pulling it back over her arm. Nothing. Your face is a little bit red, though. It's not too hot in here, is it? No, not at all. There's nothing wrong, so let's just mix the paint. Yuri hurriedly dismisses me and takes it upon herself to unwrap the tablets, dropping them into the cups. So, I thought we would do something simple that would look very nice. I'd like to paint a gradient across the banner. Starting with the colors for sunrise, then daytime, then sunset, then nighttime. Once it dries, I'll write an inspirational quote across the banner. Then we can hang it up behind the wall of the podium at the front of the classroom. Neat. What are you going to write? Well, I think it would be more fun to surprise you. Yuri smiles at me. Well, if you say so. After rolling out the banner, Yuri and I kneel on opposite sides so we don't get in the way of each other. Yuri uses a brush and adds a few dots of different colors across the banner to serve as a color guide when we paint. This kind of reminds me of elementary school. Painting on a banner with watercolors feels a lot something an art class project we would have back then. It's relaxing. I'm sorry if this feels too childish. No, I didn't mean it like that at all. It's kind of fun, you know? Yeah, it is fun. I'm glad you feel that way too. Yuri starts painting for a moment, thinking to herself. For me, I don't need to go out and do crazy things to have fun. In fact, I usually don't even want to. It's just like when I can spend time with one other person. Even if it's something simple, like reading, it doesn't matter if we don't talk much. Just having a friend next to me makes me feel a little bit nicer. I think that's all it takes for me to be happy. Is that so? Even if Yuri and I are quite different, I can understand where she's coming from. I feel that way about, like, anime and games, where simply sharing the experience with someone can make me happy. I think I feel the same way. Yuri smiles gently. I knew you'd understand. Yuri leans over to the banner and grabs an unused paintbrush. But I move at the same time, causing my head to bump into hers. Yeah, sorry. Yuri reels back and quickly lifts my head in surprise. I quickly lift my head in surprise. Are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. You just startled me, that's all. Sorry, I should have asked you to get that for me. It's not your fault. Ah, your face. There's some droplets of paint on Yuri's face and neck. Is there something on my face? Yeah, I accidentally got paint on you. Sorry, that's totally my fault. I'll get a towel right away. I rush out and crunch a small towel, then dampen it with hot water. I return to my room and kneel back down in front of her. Here. I pat Yuri's face and neck with the towel. Ah, is something wrong? It's hot, I just didn't expect it. Sorry. I didn't want to use cold water. Having finished, I start to retract my hand. Yuri suddenly holds my wrist. Wait. Eh? Just a little bit longer. It feels really nice. Ah. I keep my hand still against Yuri's neck. She looks into my eyes. It's an intense expression that I recognize from when she starts to read her books. It's almost as if she's often in daze, enveloped by her own thoughts. She breathes gently, half through slightly parted lips. What is happening? Is it the aroma of the jasmine oil giving me this dizzy feeling? Yuri's gentle fingers wrap around my wrists, and a tingling sensation through my arm. Then suddenly, her face becomes much closer to mine than it was just a moment ago. Yuri slowly pulls away. Sorry. I'm feeling a little lightheaded today. I didn't mean to space out. It's fine. The moment is over as soon as it began. Yuri picks up her brush again. Her movements seem a bit clumsier, but like she's unable to focus. I remain silent, forced to ignore the event that just transpired. I hesitantly retrieve my own brush and continue following Yuri's example. That should do it. I finish filling the night sky with white dots that look like stars. Looking at the banner as a whole, it's pretty natural looking. I think it came out better than I expected. I'm really happy with the results. Yeah, me too. Are you gonna add the lettering now? Ah, not yet. It needs to dry first. That's true, but won't that take a while? Well, perhaps it would be best to leave it here, then have you bring it in the morning. And you do the lettering in the classroom before the event starts. Is that okay? That's totally fine. Wonderful. In that case, I don't think there's anything more for us to do here. Phew. You say like you're glad it's over. Was I wrong to assume you were at least enjoying yourself a little bit? Ah, no, it's not that. I'm just glad we managed to get everything done. I see. I am too. I was a little concerned about the time. I need to start making dinner soon. Ah, so you don't have any time left? I was secretly hoping we'd have some extra time after finishing the work. Well, Yuri thinks to herself. I think it would be too irresponsible of me to wait much longer. I'm sorry. I was hoping there would be more time as well. It's probably my fault. Sorry for being such a slow worker. It's not your fault at all. And the more important thing is we got everything done, right? Yeah. So, I shouldn't be too disappointed or anything. Gathering all her things, Yuri seems to be a little downcast. I understand why. It sounds like she rarely gets the opportunity to spend time with friends in a relaxed environment. But that doesn't mean this is the last time it can happen. Once Yuri packs up, I walk her out to the door. Thank you very much for having me today. No problem, I was glad to help. Just let me know if there's anything else you need me to bring tomorrow. I will. Well then, Yuri fidgets. I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Wait, I kind of say that without thinking. About today. It's fine that we didn't have as much time as we wanted, because we can do this again. Whenever you want, you can come over and we can go somewhere. Ah, I forgot you don't like going out much. I stumble over my words, Yuri simply smiles bashfully. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, so. You've been very thoughtful, Weeb Emerald. Yuri takes a step closer to me and briefly squeezes my hand. I kinda like that about you. Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? But I don't even get a chance to as Yuri suddenly pulls back. Sayori? Eh? Hi, Weeb Emerald. Sayori! Just now, we weren't... It's okay, Weeb Emerald. I just stopped by to say hi. Well, nice to see you. I'm sorry, but I'm already on my way out to leave. Aw, really? That's too bad. I'm sorry. But we'll all be together at the festival tomorrow, so that's fine, right? Of course. Sayori beams. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. Clearly embarrassed, Yuri hurries off. Well, with the note of Yuri leaving, I suspect this scene's probably going to go back to normal now. So, if you want to know what essentially happens here, again, you just watch the earlier episodes of normal DDLC. But I suspect most of you would know. But anyway, that's going to be where I leave off the episode. Well, a quick look to see if there's anything else new. Now that we've done that, I'm going to save the game here because I'm going to come back to this. Possibly try and do a few achievements, see if there's some special poems I can get my hands on, all that stuff. But otherwise, guys, I'll leave it there. So let's return to the desktop, see if there's anything. Yeah, new stuff! First off, we got a new poem somehow. Yuri's third poem. Did I not see Yuri's third poem? Really? I'm missing poems? I have to go back and find poems? What the heck? I have no clue what I'm missing. But I'll have a look myself. That's fine. Looks like we just got a CG. But we also got a new freaking letter. Not letter. Email. Whatever. Once again, 2019. Okay, who's responsible for creating a Twitter account for Monica? I think it's hilarious, but for God's sake, don't tell Paula. I would get 404'd in a microsecond. Are you just relaying her tweets manually, or did you code some kind of pass-through layer to automate it? Based on the contents of the tweets, example, not screaming for help, I'd assume they're coming from the control simulation? Interesting. It's mentioning the Twitter account Monica has. But alright, there's not much more to do here. And that's basically the end of the episode, so yeah, next episode will be me doing a deep dive, and I think that'll be the end of the series, so with that in mind, guys, thank you for watching the DDLC World. If you enjoyed this episode of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the little bell button, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Have a grand day.